been a cloudy, overcast day all day long here in New York, and gray clouds overhead right now, 72 degrees, 91% humidity. The radar right now shows that there is not any threat of rain, at least for the time being, in the metropolitan New York area, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the EA starting lineups. Starting lineups brought to you by EA Sports. It's in the game. First for the Braves in Game 1, Rafael Furcal will lead it off. Darren Bragg's been a late addition to the lineup. Gary Sheffield's been scratched with a tender hamstring. Chipper Jones will be in left field. Andrew Jones will bat cleanup as a result. Julio Franco moves to the 5 spot. Keith Lockhart will bat 6. The bottom third of the order, V.Castilla, Henry Blanco, and G.Maddux. The Mets have taken the field. They're ready to go. In the outfield, Roger Cedeno in left, Timo Perez in center, and Jeremy Burnitz in right. Third to first, Alfonso, Ordonez, Alomar, and Vaughn. Mike Piazza behind the plate to do the catching for John Thompson, 28 years old, 6'3", 190, lives in Sulphur, Louisiana, as he's in his 5th year. He was 7-8 with the Rockies, 2-5 with the Mets after being acquired for Jay Payton on July 31st. And Thompson in his career 1-2 against Atlanta, including a loss earlier this year. He's lost 5 of his last 8 starts, but he's had a rough time lately because they've scored a lot of unearned runs against him. Here your umpiring quartet, Jeff Nelson calling balls and strikes. And with the call, here's Skip Carey.
Okay, Joe, thank you. And the first pitch is high and outside, and the game is underway before a partial sellout here at Shea Stadium of 81 people. A light rain is falling as Thompson delivers, and it's pop foul back. A ball and a strike. The first of a scheduled doubleheader here. Furcal, just 182 in his last 88 at bats. The Braves need to get him straightened out as the playoffs loom. Tried to bunt his way on, and that one bit Piazza as he fouled it back. The ball, 2 strikes.
Mike Piazza's a little bit like Chipper Jones. He'd like to get to the 100 RBI mark. He's got 95. He's got some things to play for, and taking one off the foot in the first inning of a doubleheader is not what he had in mind.
No. 1-2 the count. Thompson deals. Breaking ball inside. Started to go. Held up 2-2. Glenn Hubbard coaching at first. Ned Yost at third. Three and 2 the count.
Rafael showed some signs in that series that Philadelphia Skip of coming out of his dry spell. And in fact, not just 3 for his last 9, but 7 for his last 25 with a couple of homers.
The payoff pitch. And a good start for Atlanta as Furcal draws a walk. The 43rd walk allowed in 175 innings this year by Thompson.
Yeah, he doesn't walk many. His walks to innings pitch ratio is about like Maddox's, about 2 a game. He's in the top 10 in the league in that category, and you can see those raindrops beginning to fall. I was misled, told that it wasn't any rain in the area. There is.
Darren Bragg, the batter. You'd think it all got rained out yesterday, but not the case. Rained hard enough here to cancel the Yankee game. And of course rained hard enough in Philadelphia to cancel the Braves game. Runner goes, pitch inside. Piazza's one hop throw, not in time. Number 25 for Furcal, and Piazza's throwing troubles, well chronicled, continue. He can't get it down there on the fly very often.
Had a tough pitch to throw on, too. Down and in, had to throw more or less over the top of Darren Bragg, and the one hopper was late.
0-1 the count. The good news for Cal, 25 stolen bases. The bad news, he's been stolen out or thrown out 14 times. 0-2 the count to Darren Bragg. People are still filing in here to Shea and will be for the next couple of hours, I would imagine. I don't know how many they expect. It's certainly not going to be a huge turnout. The 0-2 pitch. 1-2 the count.
He has now just 27 of 147 on the stolen base category. Came in at 19%.
The rain increases in frequency. High pop. Piazza got a late start, but he's there and makes the catch. One down. He ran a circle route on that ball, but he caught it. One away. Another new haircut from Mike.
I'm not sure that he even knew he had a play here. In fact, you can see him still in his squat on one knee, and he got some help from his pitcher and other infielders telling him it was behind him. And that was a nice recovery.
He goes to the mound now to talk to Thompson. Chipper Jones, the batter. Runner at second, one out. Bragg was unable to get the runner to third. One other game this afternoon, and the Pirates are clobbering the Cubs 11-2 in the fifth. All the other action under the lights. Houston at San Francisco, San Diego at Los Angeles, Colorado at Arizona, the big games. Lined into right center, runner around third. He will score, and Chipper Jones has his 97th RBI of the year and moves closer to the 100 mark. Braves lead at 1-0.
He was very unhappy about not picking up those 2 RBIs they had at second and third with 2 out his last at bat in Philadelphia, and he wasn't going to waste this opportunity, and it gets him one closer to 100.
So Andrew Jones, who is hitting .356 in the month of September and was Joe's pregame guest, is the batter. Julio Franco on deck. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Chipper a short lead at first. Started to go, held up. 2-0 the count.
That's the pitch he just talked about a few minutes ago that he's been able to lay off of lately that's helped him, and that's the slider.
(3-0). One of these years, I bet you he has one of those years where he doesn't have one of these terrible dry spells that he has suffered throughout his career. And when that happens, he's really going to be something. High pop on a 3-0 pitch. That didn't work out so well. Mo Vaughn makes the catch, 2 down. Andrew may have been a little overeager with that swing, 2 away.
It's not that hot. It is a little humid, obviously, with some rain falling, but John Thompson has perspired all the way through the bill of his cap. It's just dripping off the end of his baseball cap.
Add the rain to that. Franco hitting .286. Takes a strike. It's 0-1. Fouled back. 0-2 the count.
Julio scratching the lineup a couple of days ago with a sore ring finger on his left hand. He doesn't know how he hurt it, but it had swelled up to the point that he said he couldn't even get his wedding band on, but it's okay for him to play. In fact, he was available to pinch hit Wednesday.
Kevin Millwood, Pedro Estacio in the nightcap here. Fly ball foul to right, still 0-2.
These two teams have not played a doubleheader here, Skip, since August of 1992, and the Braves swept that doubleheader.
That's when the Braves were so hot in that battle with the Giants. Still 0-2 to Franco. Up the middle. Good play by Alomar, and the inning is over. But the Braves pick up a run in the first. They do it on one hit. There were no errors, and a runner was left. Bottom of the first. Braves won. Mets come to bats.
We're excited you're coming home from school. And now don't be surprised if things look a little...
The first inning, the Braves have taken an early lead for G.Maddux. Here's the lineup he'll face tonight for the Mets. Roger Cedeno will lead it off, followed by Roberto Alomar, who's hitting the lowest he's ever averaged in the Major League since his rookie year. Mike Piazza will bat third, then Mo Vaughn. Edgardo Alfonso's had a good year at third base. Jeremy Burnitz has suffered through a tough year as well. Then it's Perez, Ordonez, and Thompson. For the Braves defensively, Chipper, Andrew, and Bragg in the outfield. Castilla, Percal, Lockhart, and Julio Franco third to first. Henry Blanco, as usual, do the catching for Maddux. Greg's on the mound for his 34th start of the year. He's made 2 starts against the Mets, 0-0 with a 386 against them. But if you look at his numbers in September, they're very good. And if you throw out that awful start he had in Florida, he's given up just 3 earned runs in his last 36 innings pitched. He's on a good roll.
Roger Cedeno leads it off, hitting at 257 and takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 Atlanta, our score. Chipper Jones drove in his 97th with a single in the first. A little chopper towards second. Lockhart has it. Throws out the speedy Cedeno. 1 away.
Second baseman, number 12, Roberto Alomar.
And here's the aforementioned Roberto Alomar, hitting 268, 11 homers, 52 runs driven in. For the Mets, the question about these guys is now, did they just have bad years, or has Father Time dulled their talents? I'm talking about Vaughn and Alomar and Cedeno and Burnett, all of whom have had disappointing years. 1 ball, no strikes.
That's going to be tough offseason decisions to be made.
And as we mentioned when the Mets were in Atlanta, the other problem is, if you decide you should move these guys on, who's going to take them at these salary levels? Right in there. 2 balls, 1 strike.
G.Maddux has 28 wins against the Mets in his career, and matched up with some all-time wins against the Mets. He's right there with Bob Gibson and 2 away from Steve Carlton against this franchise.
Broken bat grounder. Lockhart has yet another chance. 2 up. So 2 up, 2 down, and the bottom of the first. Here's Mike Piazza hitting 281, as Joe said, 95 RBIs, 32 homers, a total of 328 home runs. Second all-time among catchers to Carlton Fisk, who has 351. It's a strike, 0-1. A ball and a strike to count. How do you pronounce that? Yeah?
Yeah, baby, yeah.
One and two, the count.
He's been a hot hitter. 4 homers in his last 12 games.
The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, high fly down the right side. Bragg comes over but has no play. It lands in an empty seat and bounces into an empty seat.
I don't know about you, Skip, but when I looked at the schedule for the beginning of this year and saw that the Braves finish up in New York, I figured this would go right down to these last, what were supposed to be 3 games.
Yeah, I did too.
Never envisioned the huge lead that Atlanta has enjoyed for so long.
Neither did that man, I'm sure.
No.
And Mets really disappointed with this year. Pop foul back and out of play into the upper deck. Still 1-2. Why don't we take a look at the Eastern Division standings?
They're in last place. Mets 24.5 out. They're going to have to hustle and have a good series here against Atlanta just to not finish in the cellar.
Good hook. Inning over. So, 1-2-3, nothing doing for New York in the first. Only 17 innings to go. Braves on top, 1-0. Live.
Fans, do you have a question about baseball? How about sending us an email and we'll select one question to answer later in the game. Send your question to MLB on TBS at AOL.com and please tell us your name and where you're from.
We go to the second inning. Keith Lockhart leads it off and pops it up. Who was it? The answer to that question is Mo Vaughn, and he's got it. Nobody's going to argue with him. If he calls for it, he gets it. 1 out. On 1 pitch. And here's V.Castilla. Glenn Diamond, our producer this afternoon. Gary Lehman, our long-suffering director.
Not sure, Skip, but I think this is a little bit like that game you broadcast at old Ponce de Leon Park. I think Jeff Nelson just heard you make that call.
Hi, Jeff. Rifled into center field. Long run for Perez. He looks up, and that ball is gone. V.Castilla, his second home run since June 11th, and it's 2-0. His 11th of the year, his 58th RBI. That's good to see.
Boy, is it ever. 8 for his last 25 with a double, and now a home run to one of the hardest parks in the National League to hit one out of into center field. Hanging breaking ball. Thompson gives up his 28th homer of the year, and Timo Perez knew there was no shot.
Yeah, Thompson's had a tough time of it. The league hitting .277 against him as well coming into this game. Henry Blanco, the batter. Starter to go, 1 around.
It's pretty impressive when you look at that graphic. 42 homers on the first pitch this year for this team. That's a pretty good indication of what good fastball hitters they are.
.410 feet on Benny's blast. Henry hits one foul. He would be well within his rights to sue the Mets for the picture they're showing of him on what's left of their message board. Looks like his teeth have been knocked out.
They've got a little snaggletooth look about their message board.
Hit that ball twice, even though it rolls fair. It's a foul ball. 1-2 the count.
It's like the poster at school. Kid running for vice president and somebody's opponent. Did a little artwork on him.
High fly ball. Perez has a beat on this. It should be out number 2. Yes, it is. 2 down. Hard to believe they would have problems with a message board here in the communications capital of the free world, but as it works out, things are not up to snuff. Here's G.Maddux hitting at 193 for the year. A couple of RBIs.
Where's the communications capital of the not free world?
I don't know anymore. It used to be Moscow. So I guess this is the communications capital of the world, huh?
Food for thought.
Or it could be in our production truck. Pop foul back and out of play. It's 0-2.
Great appreciation again for the folks behind the scenes who last night had to strike the equipment in Philadelphia, load it up onto the truck, drive it to New York. 7:30 crew call this morning, get everything set up again, and here we are for the first game of this doubleheader. Nice going.
We were waiting for our transportation standing down there and got to watch them work. Boy, they're a well-oiled machine. Sort of like, no, not sort of like we are up here at all.
No.
0-2 the count. And the count stays the same. Have to laugh at their broken message board. It's a disaster, and right below it says sharp. Not true. That's getting better. There's a drive, but it's curving foul by 312 feet. Still 0-2.
Greg had a good quote in the paper. Not even sure which publication it was that I read today, but had to do with playing for someone other than Bobby Cox. He said if he were a free agent, went to another ball club, he said it'd be like going to a 12-inch black and white after watching a 24-inch color TV. This wouldn't be the same.
1 hit, 1 run, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the second, 2-0 Atlanta.
The wheels on the bus go.
Bottom half of the second inning for the first time today. A little blue sky peeking through the clouds, so perhaps there's hope we'll get these two in. Better today than tomorrow, and better tomorrow than Sunday, of course, for the doubleheader. Mobon breaks his bat. The bat sails into the seats, and the ball drops and left for a hit, and no one was hurt, which is a good thing.
It would be very difficult to strike anyone with the broken bat right now. No more fans than are here right now, but with that, he got jammed real bad and got himself a base hit, so he'll take it anyway. Actually hit it more off the end of the bat instead, trying to get the head of the bat through there.
That's just bad wood, I guess. Here's Edgardo Alfonso. He's had a good year. He's hitting .311. 16 homers, 56 RBIs, and he fouls one away at home plate, 0-1.
With the exception of the RBI total, I'd say that he's one of the only guys that's had a good year by comparison to the rest of his career.
Ooh, talking points, just what we needed. Oh, and 2 the count. Oh, and 2 the count. The stretch. Into the dirt. Here's what we've been told to tell you, folks. Game 1 will be Wednesday, October 2nd, most likely at 1 o'clock or thereabouts. Most likely. And Game 2 will be Thursday, most likely at 8 o'clock. I don't think they'll be sure till Sunday night, and maybe not then.
I think the way the Giants are playing, and since Randy Johnson pitched last night for the Diamondbacks, Schilling not expected to pitch again, I think the Giants have a better than good shot at catching Arizona. But then they've got to beat Houston 3 times.
The best the Braves can figure, 1 o'clock Wednesday, 8 o'clock Thursday. But remember, those are subject to change. Lined into center, but Andrew barely has to move. 1 away. League Division Series and National League Championship Series tickets available at the Turner Field box office at 1-800-326-4000. Or you can visit AtlantaBraves.com on your computer. Obviously, we wish we could tell you for sure what time the games were. That would be a help, but we can't. Nobody can because the races are so close. Jeremy Burnett has had a rough year. 216, 19 homers, 53 RBI. He's a much better hitter than this.
He's trying to salvage something, but it's really too little too late. 7 home runs in his last 21 games.
That ball's well hit. I don't think Moe's going to try for third, no. First and second, 1 out. Timo Perez is the batter. In his last 9 games, he's been red hot, hitting .367 overall, .296. A speedy left-hand hitter is up there. To third, good play by Castilla, and a double play is the result, and the inning is over. 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 1 left. At the end of 2 complete, Braves 2, Mets nothing.
Say, fans, don't miss Big Play Saturday on TBS. Tomorrow night, the 2nd-ranked Oklahoma Sooners, armed with one of the best defenses in the nation, host the South Florida Bulls. That's starting at 7 o'clock Eastern Time right here on the TBS Superstation.
Rafael Furcal leads off the third. Mr. Mendez arrived at the ballpark to the delight of all 3 fans here.
Getting his picture taken with everyone.
Thompson delivers. He shortens again. This time takes a strike. It's 1-1. Rafi walked, stole a base, scored a run his first time. Two balls, 1 strike. Another game to follow this one. Pedro Estacio and Kevin Millwood, 2 fine right-handers, will work the nightcap. And then tomorrow, Tom Glavine against Al Leiter. Tom probably won't pitch very long into that game. And Jason Marquis and Steve Traxel on Sunday. Two and two, the count.
Ron Thulin and Charles Davis, Craig Sager, Aaron Andrews. I bet they're going to have a bang-up time in Norman for that football game tomorrow night.
That takes care of Furcal. 1 away. Who was Norman, Oklahoma named for? You know? You must know.
Have no idea.
Well, you went to school there.
I didn't go to Norman University. I went to Norman High, which was named after the town, you know.
Which was named after. Here's Darren Bragg. Oh, 1-1 the count.
If it's important to you, I'll find out.
Never mind. You don't even know how to run your cell phone. Just hang in there.
My what?
Oh, nothing. Forget I brought it up. 0-2 the count.
I mean, because I don't have one sitting on the counter that rings and everybody across the country can hear ringing, that I don't know how to run mine.
Nobody ever calls me. I'm just hoping.
Why would they?
Good point. The 0-2 pitch. Low and inside, a ball and 2 strikes.
No, O'Connell's will be hopping Saturday before the game in Norman. All the restaurants around town don't get many night games there, so that'll be a fun game.
3 strikeouts for Thompson. All the restaurants in town, that would be Shoney's and Burger King, right? Just kidding.
There is a Burger King. Shoney's, no.
Chipper Jones, the batter, he drove in a run his first time. High fly ball, deep center. Perez on the run. He's got it, and the inning is over. Chipper hit it a long way, but out. 1, 2, 3. Nothing doing in the third. At the end of 2.5. Braves 2, Mets nothing.
Things are spinning.
Sunday night on TBS Superstation.
MLB.com to order.
Ray Ordonez has had a good year with the bat, 254. Had sort of a rough season with the glove, but he's still one of the best shortstops in baseball. Fans down the right field side on their feet giving a standing ovation, and none of them are looking at the game. 0-2 the count. Good bunt, base hit. Lockhart has no play. A perfect bunt. Maddox saw him short, and he broke to the third base line, and that really opened it up for Ordonez. He pushed it right past it.
He really disguised this well. You can see Greg's first break is that direction. That made it easy. He coasted to first base. The angle of his bat at first made Greg think he was going to try to drop it down the third base line. Excellent job by Ordonez.
John Thompson is the batter. Bunted out right out in front of the plate. Blanco thought about it, but goes instead to first. 2-4 sacrifice. So runner at second and 1 out. And the top of the order comes to the plate.
I don't think Henry had that in his grasp the way he wanted in order to go to second base. Had a little trouble getting a grip on it.
Roger Cedeno is the batter. Cedeno grounded to second his first time. 2-0 Atlanta, our score. At the knees, outside corner. Cedeno didn't think so. 0-1. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. Tom Glavine and Al Leiter will pitch that one. Tommy won't pitch long, I don't think. 1-1 the count.
Cedeno was brought back primarily because the Mets sorely needed a leadoff hitter. He's hit .257, and his on-base percentage has only been .314. They were hoping for better.
High fly ball into short left. Long run for Chipper. He lets it drop. And runners are at first and third. I shouldn't say let it drop. It dropped in front of it. But once again, playing so deep cost him, and runners at first and third with 1 out.
Especially with Cedeno batting left-handed, there's not much chance that he's going to hit the ball over your head. And Chipper had shortened up a little bit, but obviously not enough. This is out there in no man's land, and an RBI opportunity for Alomar.
Maddox could use a ground ball to have a chance to get out of this mess. First and third, 1 out. Seriously, the fans in Norman, Oklahoma, may be the best football fans I've ever seen. great football fan. And a great stadium in which to watch a game.
Gets pretty loud in there.
Call it the snake pit, at least the visiting teams do. Way outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Big stadium expansion going on there too.
Listen to this guy.
Providing his own sound effects.
He's trying to be the organ. I'm amazed at Maddux isn't laughing, because his sense of humor is, runner goes from first. They got the pitch out called, but he's going to be safe. Stolen base for Cedeno is 24th of the year. I think you can give that fan credit for that stolen base. Cedeno wanted to get a little further away from that loudmouth.
Got a great jump, and the throw was a little short.
Plus, for Kyle had a lot to do. He had to check the runner at third and then think about making the tag at first. The count on Alomar is 2-0. He too grounded to second his first time. High and outside. 3-0 the count with Piazza next. Alomar on his way to first. Can't believe it. 3-1.
Picked up his 2,500th career hit back in July against the Reds. Did look a little low and away.
3 balls and a strike. Ground ball, 6-3. And a run is in. Lockhart was playing too far into the hole, I guess, to get to the base. Oh, that's right. There was no force. The runner had moved up. Excuse me. So 2 are out. And Piazza, the batter, with a runner at third. Mike struck out on a breaking ball his first time, which makes him doubly dangerous this time. Foul tip back, 0-1. 2-1 ball game.
Skip, I know they've talked about this in the past, about at what point does Mike Piazza move to another position to save himself a little bit physically. You know, maybe in light of this bad season they've endured this year, maybe they try to force him to first base and do something with Mo Vaughn to realign this ball club a little bit. See how many games he's played in. This is his 133rd, so he's missed, by the season's end, close to 30 ball games to try to save him a little bit physically.
There was some talk earlier this year of Vaughn perhaps being dealt back to the Red Sox, where he had his most major league success, had great success, in fact. Piazza's always said he wants to remain a catcher.
I know.
Sometimes you just kind of say, it's not working. Called out on strikes, and the inning is over, and Maddux picked a fortuitous time to record his second strikeout. A run on 2 hits, a runner left. At the end of 3, your score, 2-1 Atlanta.
We go to the 4th inning in time for tonight's, or this afternoon's, Aflac Trivia question. Which 2 players hold the Major League record for most home runs hit in a doubleheader? They're both National League players. We'll give you that hint. We'll give you the answer in the bottom half of the inning.
Aflac.
I know that one. I actually know one. Here's Andrew to lead things off against John Thompson. He looks at a strike. A ball and a strike, the count. Don't forget, playoff tickets available, 1-800-326-4000 or AtlantaBraves.com.
Thompson, a prized possession of the Rockies, and then hurt his shoulder. He missed most of 2 years trying to rehab it. Last year, finally got back, was 4-5 with Colorado, but just a 29-48 record in his major league career. The guy that was primary in that deal that went from New York to Colorado, Jay Payton.
There's another rifle shot off Andrews' bat. That's going to roll to the wall, and he'll be at second. A good start to the 4th inning. Boy, I hope he stays in this groove for 3 more weeks.
And what about Vinny with his home run today? Boy, it's like everybody keeps saying, between Andrew, Vinny, and Javi, get 2 of the 3 guys hot at any one time to go with Chipper and Sheffield, and something really good could happen for this team in the postseason. Andrew's got some amazing string working. I got to look it up. 17 of his last 28 hits have been for extra bases. 8 doubles and 9 homers now.
That's not too bad. See as Julio hits to the off field. Yeah, he tries to, but fouls it off. 0-1. Runner at second, nobody out. We're in the 4th inning in game 1. Braves lead 2-1 and trying to pad that lead right here. Boy, the Clouds are blowing out of here in a hurry now. That's good news. At the knees, 0-2.
One thing they said would happen during the course of the doubleheader was that the wind would shift out of the south and blow in about 20 miles an hour. There was some front that was supposed to come through, and the flags are beginning to pick up a little bit out in center field.
The 0-2 pitch. Low and away, a ball and 2 strikes. Don't forget, in the division series, best we can figure, we know for sure game 1 will be Wednesday, and probably 1 o'clock, 1 to 1:15 in the afternoon. Game 2 probably 8 to 8:15 on Thursday night. And a 5th game, if necessary, would be back in Atlanta on Monday, October 7th. No idea about what time that one would start. Low and away, 2-2.
Diamondbacks relying heavily on Miguel Batista tonight, who starts their game. He, of course, is a veteran, but after that, if Batista were to lose tonight, they got a couple of young pitchers they would have to lean on Saturday and Sunday to get them through to the title for the West. Brian Anderson, you know, hurt with a broken foot.
That didn't help him at all either. No. Good job, Julio. Gets the runner to third, 1 out.
You know, Julio doesn't even care what the count is, Skip. I mean, 0-2 doesn't matter to him. Still gets the job done, hitting the ball to the right side. Nobody on the team better than he is at it.
A base hit would have been better, but he just made up his mind he was going to get the runner over. Tried to get a hit, failed, but didn't fail in the moving him up category. Infield in for the Mets as Keith Lockhart bats. He popped out his first time. Low and inside, 1 ball, no strikes.
I was talking about the first pitch home runs earlier. That's not to say that you always get a first pitch fastball. It's just to indicate that many times you do, and the Braves are very aggressive on the first pitch and don't look at a lot of first pitch strikes.
2-0 the count. That's the way Minnesota is too, isn't it? They're really aggressive.
Yeah. That's going to be a great series, Minnesota and Oakland.
High pop. That will not get the run home. Alfonso squeezes it. 2 down. It's all up to V.Castillo. Hit a solo home run his first time.
Teed off on a hanging breaking ball and hit it 410 feet, out by the New York Apple.
Runner at third, 2 out.
Those were his numbers last year against the Braves, the division series, including a homer.
And he rifles one into right center and gets the run home and picks up Lockhart as a result. RBI number 59 for Vinny, and his second of the day. And it's 3-1 Atlanta, and Henry Blanco the batter.
And pickup is the right word, Skip. And for fans at home that don't know exactly what you mean, Keith Lockhart will be the first to go to Vinny when the inning ends and say, thanks for picking me up, meaning Keith failed to get that runner home from third with less than 2 outs. And with 2 outs, Vinny did the job.
Henry Blanco, the batter. 91 on that Thompson fastball. Count 1-0. Well, I don't think I've ever seen this before in Shea Stadium. Pop into right center. Perez will make the catch. The parking lot right behind the center field wall just about empty. That's because almost nobody's here. A run on 2 hits, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 3-1 Atlanta.
For game 1, which 2 players hold the Major League record for most home runs hit in a doubleheader? Stan Musial did it in 1954 against the New York Giants, and Nate Colbert against the Atlanta Braves on August 1st of 1972. They both hit 5 home runs combined in the doubleheader, and you say you saw it. Stan do it, right?
I sure did. I'll never forget it. Mo Vaughn leads off here in the bottom of the 4th. It was a day very similar to this one, though it was in St. Louis. Lined hard into right field. That's a hit. Vaughn will come to a stop at first. And both games were delayed by rain 2 or 3 times. It was around 8 o'clock at night by the time Stan had hit 5 home runs, and he batted again in the bottom of the 8th. And it was appeared obvious that it would be his last at-bat of the day. The Cardinals had won the first game, and the Giants were way ahead in the second game. And he swung at the first pitch and popped up. And the most people you could get in that ballpark in those days was 33,000, I think, somewhere in that area. And not one of them had left because of the history that was being made. It was the first time anybody had hit 5 home runs in a doubleheader. And they all gave him a standing ovation after he trotted off the field after hitting a pop fly. And by the time the top of the ninth started, all 33,000 were gone. That's the only reason they stayed around. Alfonso pops one back and out of play.
Was that a short porch to right field for him at Sportsman's Park?
Yeah, it was 310 down the line and 354 in the power alley.
But had a screen, didn't
Yes,
it?
they called it the pavilion. The screen went to about the 354 mark. And after that, there was no screen, but the bleachers continued on out towards center field. Double play ball. 6-3. Mo didn't quite get there to apply any pressure. So 2 quick outs here in the 4th. And here's Jeremy Burnett, who singled his first time. Yeah, Musial made a lot of money off that screen in St. Louis, but the guy who really feasted on it was Red Shandies. He used to pop balls off that screen.
Really?
For doubles all the time.
Huh.
Strike called, and another left-hand hitter, Enos Slaughter, who passed away earlier this year, in fact.
Wow. Maddox is sharp today, but he's also wearing out not only the outside corner, but the outside corner and then some. And Burnett.
Boy, this is a good argument. And Jeff Nelson, Burnett's never turned his head, and it was the umpire who stuck his head in there, and now they've really got it going.
Valentine's not going to get there in time, I don't think.
Now watch after the pitch.
That was a breaking ball.
Watch Burnett's now. He keeps his head down, trying not to show the umpire. Of course, there's nobody here for it, so everybody behind home plate can hear anyway. And he's got every right to complain. Ooh.
Maddox thought he would get the call if it was close enough, and he was headed to the dugout.
With their incredible power, sleek design, and affordable prices, Gateway's new
By Office Depot, what you need to know. And by the Home Depot, driving down the cost of home improvement.
Raul Gonzalez checks into the game to play right field, and Greg Maddux swings and misses. And as we go to the fifth, here with the play-by-play story, Joe Simpson.
Thanks, Skip. Our first look at Raul Gonzalez, who's the International League MVP this year. 1-1 to Greg, who struck out his first time up. One and two.
Yeah, he hit .333 at Louisville. Gonzalez did, Joe, with 13 homers.
One of the players to be named later, Gonzalez, was from Cincinnati in the deal that sent Sean Estes from New York to the Reds. Look out. Everybody's all right. Still 1 and 2. He's talking about Thompson's troubles lately, losing 5 of his last 8 starts. He's given up 36 runs over that period, but only 23 earned. You can see how the change has occurred defensively for the Mets when they set the record for the fewest errors in Major League history just 3 years ago. Maddox is out 1-3, but over twice as many errors from that record just 3 years ago. This was supposed to be a very sound defensive group. Looking at Ordonez, he's made 19 errors. Alfonso's made 12 at third. Alomar's made 10 at second. Even Piazza with 12 errors. And I hate to say it, but if you've got a first baseman that's made 18 errors, boy, does that show up.
Yes.
And that's what Vaughn's made. Another bunt attempt by Furcal, and tried to get the bat back, but he was too late in doing so. It's 0-2. He has walked and struck out, stolen the base, and scored a run. Same call for Nelson anyway. He's consistent. He's generous in the width of the plate tonight for both pitchers, and that's strikeout number 4 for Thompson.
Another look. And you can see why Jeremy Burnitz was a little upset, because a similar pitch was called a strike on him.
Darren Bragg is fouled to the catcher and struck out. He went around. He had a bit of a tough homestand, but Darren was 3 for his last 6 until this game. Up the middle, tough play for Alomar. He backhands it, but he'll never throw him out. An infield hit for Bragg. Fifth hit of the night for Atlanta, and the batter will be Chipper Jones.
He'd have been better off. I don't know what he was thinking about throwing that ball.
Chipper had an RBI single in the first, drove in his 97th run of the year. He's also flied out deep to left center.
Starting to cloud up again, Joe.
These fans that are here, Skip, are trying to conjure up a Larry chant, but it just doesn't have quite the same bite. There goes Bragg. Tough try for Piazza and didn't get him. Chipper actually did him a favor. He's kind of getting out of the way, stepping across home plate. 5th stolen base of the year for Bragg.
Another tough throw for him, but again, he can't quite get it down there on the fly.
And an RBI chance for Chipper with 2 out. You mentioned it at the very start of the broadcast, Skip, about how there are some marks the Braves would like to accomplish before the season ends. And don't think for a minute that Bobby Cox is not doing what he can to try to set Chipper up for his 100 RBIs. Like sending Bragg in front of him. Out of play.
He was really concerned about Maddux getting the 15 wins, to the point where he told me that on his radio show that the last couple times Maddux had pitched trying to win it, he actually had stomach problems. Not Maddux, but Cox did, because he was so concerned and wanting to pull him through so badly. And what a relief it was to have it finally done.
This won't get him in. A check swing. Chipper would like to have that one over, but won't have the opportunity. No runs to hit, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 3-1 Atlanta.
When you're trying to quit smoking, cravings for cigarettes can appear out of nowhere. Nicorette Stop Smoking Gum, used regularly, will help fight them off. If you encounter a really tough craving, you can take an extra piece of Nicorette. With Nicorette, you can keep cravings at a safe distance. Nicorette helps you quit one craving at a time.
What's this?
It's a credit card. You have to open it up.
Introducing Discover to Go.
That's a crazy-looking credit card. Wow, look at that.
A great new way to carry your Discover card.
Wipe it through there and they'll have got it.
There's a place for my keys. I love it.
It's new. I figured that one out, Frank. Very futuristic.
Same account numbers, same cashback bonus program, but not like any credit card you've seen before.
Bottom of the fifth, bottom part of the order for the New York Mets. Timo Perez, Ray Ordonez, and John Thompson. Maddux has given up a run on 5 hits. Perez showed bunt, but took a strike. He hit into a 5-4-3 double play his first time. It's the 199th inning of the year for Greg Maddux. Well hit to center, and the wind knocks it down a little bit for Andrew, who makes the catch. 1 out. Let's send it back to our TBS studios in Bo Estes.
All right, thank you, Joe. Bo Estes back in CBS Sports Control. No playoff implications with the Cubs and the Pirates. But baseball's a numbers game, and how about Brian Giles, his second homer of the day? This one off Kyle Farnsworth. 6th RBI of the day, 101 RBIs on the year. Pittsburgh up 13-3. Back to Joe.
Thanks, Bo. He's a good player, you know it. Brian Giles. 6 RBIs today.
Nobody knows it because he's with a team that hasn't been in a pennant race, but you're right. He's a very good player.
0-1 to Ordonez, who singled and scored the only run so far for the Mets. And a hard hit ball knocked down by Julio in a nice play. 2 out. That saved a double.
He's still pretty quick. Not fast, but quick. And that's what that took. And you see Maddux doing his job as well.
Thompson put out a sacrifice bunt his first time. By the way, you know, I was just teasing you a minute ago about the Norman thing.
Yes, you were.
You were wanting to know who it was named for.
I was.
0-1 to Thompson.
That's why I asked the
In
question.
1870, I'll just run through this real quick for you because this is all I remember about it. The U.S. Land Office contracted with a professional engineer to survey the Oklahoma Territory, and Abner E. Norman was a young surveyor who was hired to do that area. Swinging bunt, go foul, it did. 0-2.
What was his name?
Abner E. Norman, and he was the chairman of the Central Survey area in Indian Territory, and the surveyor's crew, playing a little trick on him, burned the words Norman's Camp into an elm tree, kind of taunt their younger supervisor.
I bet.
And when the settlers arrived there in the heart of Oklahoma, they kept the name.
I wonder why they didn't name it Abner.
Just didn't have the right ring to it, I guess. Abner, Oklahoma. Called strike to Thompson. A 1-2-3 inning for Maddux. He's got 4 strikeouts, and you've got some Oklahoma history, and we go to the 6th. Still 3-1 Atlanta.
To cure athlete's foot with 1 week's use, look for Lamisil AT. No matter which Lamisil AT you buy, you only have to treat for 1 week. All these Lotrimin AF products take 4 weeks use. Lamisil AT. There's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
The promotion. A new title. A bigger paycheck. Better days ahead. Your hard work paid off. And so did that extra confidence from getting rid of your gray hair with Just for Men hair color. Its vitamin formula rejuvenates your hair and energizes you with a natural look in 5 easy minutes. When you feel confident, it shows. Just for Men. the Rejuvenator.
AOL's got something for everybody.
AOL has parental controls, and that's important to me and my family.
America Online invented easy-to-use parental controls to help parents protect their children.
AOL has stuff you won't find anywhere else.
America Online, so easy to use, no wonder it's #1.
Stars. With new hit movies you'll see first on Stars, only on Stars. Movies so good, if you're not completely satisfied, we'll give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. Stars, just one of 8 great movie channels in the Star Super Pack on Dish Network. Call now, 1-800-333-DISH, to order the Star Super Pack, $11.99 or less a month. We're so sure you're going to love it, we're giving you a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now, 1-800-333-DISH.
Hi, I'm Sue Ismail. With all natural ingredients from my own kitchen, I created what I believe is the best no-heat hair removal product on the market.
Used anywhere on the body. There's a reason why Nads is the #1 selling hair removal product in stores. It's the best.
It has to be the best because I made it for my own daughter.
We still make it in our hometown in Australia.
Nads, from our home to yours.
Now available at drugstores nationwide.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
We go to the 6th. Braves lead by 2 in the first game of a doubleheader here at Chase Stadium. Andrew Jones has popped up and doubled. He also scored a run. John Thompson, 3 runs on 5 hits and a hard shot to third, but a nice play by Alfonso. Throws low, but Vaughn handles it. 1 away. Andrews 1 for 3, and here's Julio Franco, who has hit into a fielder's choice to end the first, but moved a runner to third after Andrew doubled in the 4th inning. Julio just 3 for his last 15, but his average still at 284. Good breaking ball. Now this deal is a little one-sided right now that the Mets made with Colorado. They got Thompson to try to shore up some pitching, but Jay Payton, since he went to Colorado, has hit .373 in 42 games.
Just came off the disabled list.
Yeah.
And I think he is a free agent at the end of the year.
Is that right?
I believe so.
Oh, and 2 to Julio.
No, he's not a free agent. Well, I don't know if that's right, Joe, because he's hurt so much. He might have been on the Major League roster.
But even so, they count that time when they list that in the guides about how much time they're talking about Major League service.
So take that back about the free agency.
Be eligible for arbitration, though, most certainly. 1 and 2 to Julio. Another grounder to the right side. Alomar handles it. 2 down. And Keith Lockhart, the batter, he has popped up twice. Once to first, once to third.
Some fans probably wonder where I was kidding about how old Julio Franco is, and he is old by baseball standards. And if you wonder how he's able to play at such an advanced baseball age, well, if you ever saw him without his shirt on, you would understand. He is rock solid. He really takes care of himself, works hard to stay in shape. And that's why he's able to perform at this level still.
Probably takes more swings than anybody on the ball club, too, and cages before and after during and after the game. Oh, and 2 to Keith. And again, a generous outside corner call from Jeff Nelson. Lockhart had been 4 for his last 6 before the start of this game. Chased a bad ball there, and he's down on strikes. That's 5 strikeouts for Thompson. He gets the Braves in order, and we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning, 3-1 Atlanta.
You're on a plane. The guy next to you paid $1,200 for his seat. You paid 99 bucks. That's how you're gonna feel. GM announces 0% financing for 5 years for qualified buyers.
It's the drama of NASCAR on TNT. This weekend it's off to Kansas and the Kansas Speedway. Tomorrow afternoon it's Busch Series Racing. For complete schedule information, log on to NASCAR.com, Joe.
All right, Skip, thanks. Chris Hammond on the pitch for the Braves. G.Maddux goes 5 innings, allows 5 hits and 1 run, no walks, 4 strikeouts, and a good tune-up for him. He departs leading 3-1, and how about Chris Hammond? He leads all Major League relievers with a 0.96 ERA. He's trying to become only the 3rd pitcher since 1900 with a minimum of 70 innings to have an ERA below 1. Dennis Eckersley did it for the A's back in 1990 with a 0.61 ERA. And the Giants' Ferdy Shoop did it in 1916. He hasn't given up an earned run in his last 31 outings. That's 34 2/3 innings. And since June 3rd, he's 6-0 with a 0.37 ERA. That's 2 earned runs in 49 innings. He's had a pretty good year.
Really?
Yeah.
Maddux, by the way, 53 pitches, 40 strikes.
Oh, man. There are the 2 guys I referred to. Roger Cedeno will bat right-handed against him. He's singled in 2 trips and stolen a base.
They used to call old Ferdy the Shupster, as I recall. Yeah. Get him out, Shupster, they used to holler.
Is that where the Ship Ship song came from?
No.
2-1.
Ferdy Shupp changed his name to Edgar Norman and went to work for the railroad office.
Oh. Abner.
After his playing career.
I wonder what the E stood for. Change up, miss. 3-1.
No. Ferd E.
Oh.
That's what it was.
Okay. He walked him. A rare walk issued by Chris Hammond. That's 31 for him for the year in 75 innings.
Tell you something, it's hard to do in this game with the strike zone being what it is.
Roberto Alomar, the batter. Batting right-handed, a tough place for him this year. Batting right-handed, Castilla's only play is to first on the slow hit ball. Alomar's 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts. But a runner in scoring position for Mike Piazza, who struck out twice. That was against Maddux. But like Chipper, time running out on Piazza to try to get 100 RBIs. He's at 95. There's that change up, and Piazza couldn't stop.
They've been living with off-speed stuff to him so far in this game.
Maddux struck him out with a good hook his first time up. Fastball on the corner. Mo Vaughn on deck. 0-2 the count. Change up, blocked by Blanco. 1-2 to Mike. Change up and a beauty. The odds to chase the bad change up, and he's down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight. First strikeout for Hammond. I asked Chris one time about his changeup and how he holds it. There's no special way that he holds it. It's not really a circle change. He said, I learned to throw a changeup when I was a kid. You know how a kid will wind up real fast and throw the pitch slow. He said, that's how I developed it. And he said, I just stomped my stride foot real hard to slow everything down and then release it in a normal way. There's another one. And Keith Lockhart was standing nearby when he was describing that to me, and Keith said, yeah, in the minor leagues we used to call it the old stomp pitch because we could hear his foot hit the ground when he threw it. Shift on for Vaughn with 3 infielders on the right side. 1-1. He's raised his average to 258 tonight with a couple of hits. Actually hitting higher against lefties than he is against right-handers. 260 to 254 coming in.
Joe, I just checked with Frank Wren, the Braves assistant general manager, and it's still not nailed down, but 1 o'clock Wednesday and 8 o'clock Thursday are looking more and more like they will be the times for those first 2 playoff games in Atlanta.
Boy, Frank's been busy. He's been on the phone this whole road trip with all those different scenarios.
Yeah, it changes every day, and the situation changes every day. Arizona, everybody thought they were in a cinch in the West. Not that way.
Runner going to third. Hard hit ball. Julio has it on 1 hop. He'll prevent the run from scoring, and Chris Hammond has another shutout inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left. We go to the 7th. Braves still up 3-1.
Get the elegantly redesigned 2003 Saturn L Series for 0% APR for 36 months. For restrictions, see your retailer.
With their incredible power, sleek design, and affordable prices, Gateway's new computers are a great value. But now they're a better value than ever, because right now at your local Gateway store, you can get a $100 instant rebate on any PC in stock. Stop by a Gateway store today.
America Online keeps us all connected.
It keeps me close to the people I love.
I'm closer to my grandparents because of AOL.
You've got mail. AOL's got something for everybody.
AOL has parental controls, and that's important to me and my family.
America Online invented state-of-the-art parental controls because we know parents want to protect their children, and we continually improve parental controls to make them even easier to use.
AOL has stuff you won't find anywhere else.
America Online, so easy to use, no wonder it's #1.
Tom Cruise, Julia Roberts, Halle Berry, Will Smith, Nicole Kidman, Britney Spears, Brad Pitt. Nobody gets you closer to the stars, and we mean nobody.
Come for the movie.
Stay for the break. The Movie Break, premiering this week on TBS Superstation.
Atlanta Braves baseball on TBS Superstation, brought to you by Gateway. You've got a friend in the business. And by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Hey, check out what's coming to TBS.
Can't seem to find what you're looking for? We've handpicked an afternoon lineup you're gonna dig. TBS Superstation's non-stop comedy block, premiering October 1st. No wonder they call it the Superstation.
Get a little breezy here at the ballpark as we start the 7th. And V.Castilla in there, and here's Skip.
Okay, Joe, thank you. Vinny's been the hitting hero today. Singled in a run and homered. Hits another ball hard, but Ordonez gobbles it up, 1 out. One pitch, one out in the 7th. And Henry Blanco, the batter.
You know, it's even though the Mets have lost their last 3 ball games, Skip, some things have been better the last few weeks after that long losing streak they had here at home. It's almost like all these veteran players said, you know what? We've stunk this place up. We need to play better and at least show somebody that we know how to play this game.
They sure surprised me, as I'm sure they've surprised themselves. 74 and 83 is not what you really expected of this team. If it stays in play, and it will, in fact, it stays in fair territory. Vaughn puts it down. 2 down. Mark DeRosa will come out and hit for Chris Hammond, who has another shutout inning to continue his streak. I would guess Chris will pitch in one more game. That's just a guess.
That would be my guess, too.
Probably not today. Probably either tomorrow or Sunday. You see the numbers on Mark DeRosa. Part of that round robin at second base for Atlanta now. So Hammond went an inning, walked 1, struck 1 out on the pitch, a strike to DeRosa.
We're hoping to visit with Chris Hammond before the start of tomorrow's ball game on our sister station, Turner South. Get a feel for what he's been going through and what kind of season he's had on his return to the big leagues and how much he's enjoyed it.
0-2 the count. Just missed the ball and 2 strikes. I'm sure Chris would like to be back with Atlanta next year. Let's hope that works out. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Again, I go back to something Maddux was quoted as saying yesterday or the day before about what a joy it is for these guys to play for Bobby Cox, and as Greg put it, how easy he makes it for them to do their jobs, players I'm talking about.
Alomar has it, and the inning is over. 1, 2, 3 for Atlanta. 7 in a row have gone down for Atlanta. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Braves still lead it 3-1.
Dish on Demand, pay-per-view.
Do not take the law into your own hands.
Thanks for your advice. Collateral damage.
We're here to help.
You're all going to die down here.
Resident evil.
Emily sent him back to tell me something. It was Emily!
Dragonfly. Take a break from routine TV. Order a pay-per-view movie from Dish on Demand. Ordering pay-per-view with your touch-tone phone just got easier. Now there's only one number to remember for movies, sports, concerts, boxing, wrestling, adult, and more. Tune into channels 455 through 525 to choose your show. Then call 1-877-DISH-PPV. That's 1-877-347-4778. Tonight, enjoy the best in pay-per-view programming from Dish on Demand.
Check out the fall lineup at MLB.com, including live batting practice and customized highlights.
We're with it here at Shea Stadium.
A little lazy Mary here.
He's pretty good.
Working. Uh-huh.
He's going to hit that cigar and knock it right down his throat.
It's all in the hat, though. I mean,
yeah, the hat
you can be as
something.
good a dancer as you want if you're not attired properly.
As you see, Darren Holmes, the new Atlanta pitcher. He's another guy who's come out of nowhere. He didn't pitch at all last year. And look at the numbers he's put together. Edgardo Alfonso leads it off. Upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes.
Holmes hasn't given up a run in his last 8 games.
3-1 Atlanta, our score as we go to the bottom of the 7th. High pop, that's going to reach the seats. Matt Galante coaches at third, Mookie Wilson at first for the Mets. Another game to follow this one. Pedro Estacio will work against Kevin Millwood. Pete Van Wieren, Don Sutton will have that one for you.
Oh, good pitch. You
2
know,
balls and a strike.
Skip, with the partnership that's run this ball club in the last few years, the Wilpons and the Doubledays, and that's changed now. The Wilpons are the sole owners. I wonder if that will change the direction of where this organization goes with this payroll and the veteran players, and Bobby Valentine and Steve Phillips.
Well, there are a lot of question marks. You start with the general manager. If he's retained, then you would think the course they'd steered would be pretty similar, because this is his ball club, I suppose. And then the manager, and then you worry about the players. 2-2. Ground ball headed for left field. Solid hit. Tying run comes to the plate. Alfonso is on for the first time, and Raul Gonzalez, the scheduled hitter. He's the kid we told you about, hit .333 at Louisville.
Raul Gonzalez
has hit .302 since joining the Mets. He hit his first 2 home runs in the major leagues at Colorado on the 25th of August. One of them off our old pal Denny Nagel. Runner at first, nobody out. Mets about to hit the Braves. 6-5. 0-1 the count.
5'9", 190 pounds.
Yeah, he's a stocky kid
out of Puerto Rico.
Right in there. 0-2.
He is not just a kid who has risen quickly. He is a late bloomer, I guess. 28 years old. Originally the Kansas City organization. He's been with several different ball clubs, signing as minor league free agents.
Funny how that works for some guys. It takes them a long time to chased a bad ball there, and Holmes puts him away. 1 out. Darren records his first strikeout of the game.
Mentioned that Darren hasn't given up a run in his last 8 ball games. He's also racked up quite a few strikeouts over that stretch. That's his 12th strikeout. in his last 8 1/3 innings pitched.
Timo Perez, the batter, has hit into a double play and flied to center. But in his last 9 games coming into this one, hitting at a .367 clip, and he can run. Something the Mets have very little of is speed. This guy and Cedeno can pick him up and lay him down. Alomar doesn't possess the speed he once had, but is still better than average. Outside, 1 ball, no strike.
Yeah, Robbie can still pick his spots, and he has 16 stolen bases this year, but his running cut down on his inability to get on base. He could still be a 25 stolen base guy for them next year.
That's part of it. You know, the other thing, the longer you play up here, the more guys go into you hard on double plays, and the more your legs get pounded, and each time that happens, it takes a little speed away, just like catching does. One and two, the count.
Good pitch on the inside part.
Runner at first, 1 out, 3-1 Atlanta, 7th inning. Another game to follow this one. Almost hit him, breaking ball inside. It's 2-2. Jeremy Burnett's ejected from this game by home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg, Jeff Nelson arguing a pitch back in the 4th. Broken bat, line foul off the railing in front of the Mets dugout. That railing paid for itself right there.
Julio played the ball off the screen and stepped on the bag and looked at the umpire for a call.
Might as well try it.
Hey, you never know. Watch Franco. I can't believe Justin Clem gave him the courtesy of a call.
Why not? It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
2-2 the count. Fly ball into right field, pretty well hit. Bragg on the track has room. 2 out. A noisy second out. Ray Ordonez, the batter.
The wind keeps swirling around. It was blowing in earlier. Now appears to be blowing out a little bit. That front has moved through. That's what's caused the wind shift.
Ty Wigginton has moved on deck. He would pinch hit next, but there are 2 out in the inning. Ordonez beat out a bunt. And as you see, grounded to first. There's Wigginton. (3-1) Atlanta, our score. D-Rank inside corner. Ordonez with just 1 home run. Power is not a big part of his game. A ball and a strike. See the left-hander in the bullpen.
This Mets ball club has a team ERA of 3.89. That's not all that bad for a ball club that was supposed to be, whose strength was supposed to be lineup and score runs. but it's the position players that really have let them down this year.
High pop, right side. Everybody chasing it. Lockhart into foul territory. So is Bragg. And what a play by Darren Bragg, banging into the wall down there, taking it away from a fan.
And I think Keith Lockhart was the first guy to make the call. I think Keith was as excited about it as Darren was.
The inning comes to a close. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left. At the end of 7, your score, Braves 3, Mets 1.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that?
At the 8th inning, and Percal lashes one to left for a base hit to start the inning off. John Thompson, who remains in the ball game, and that snaps a streak of 7 in a row. He sat down, and as Percal's at first, let's take a look at our Office Depot scoreboard. It's a short scoreboard tonight. Nothing yet underway except for the one final at Chicago, where Pittsburgh beat Chicago 13-3 today. Brian Giles with 2 homers, and Solomon Torres with his 2nd win. By the way, you can show support for your favorite team with officially licensed Major League Baseball merchandise. You can log on to MLB.com to order.
Darren Bragg is the batter. Percal now 1 for 3 on the day. Darren is 1 for 3. They chase the runner back. Now a right-hander up in the New York bullpen. The left-hander Serta was up earlier. A little insurance couldn't hurt here.
Scott Strickland, who has had nightmares about the Braves this year.
There's a strike. A ball and a strike on Darren, who goes into the Georgia Tech Hall of Fame on October 4th, though he in all likelihood will not be there. More pressing playoff games, but he sure is appreciative of the honor. 1-1 the count. There goes the runner, and he's in there. Piazza, in fairness, made a pretty good throw that time. Got it there on the fly. But Percal beat the rep. 3rd stolen base of the night for Atlanta, the 2nd for Rafi, and his 26th of the year.
He didn't appear to get a real good jump, but he outran the throw. Piazza trying to do everything he can to get the ball there as quickly as he can, and given the fact that he doesn't have the best throwing arm, he tries to improve on that by getting rid of it quickly. Short, quick step and release.
Three and one the count. You know, Joe, if you're a catcher and you're having trouble nailing runners, I imagine you have to fight yourself in changing the way you call the game, calling more fastballs so you have a better personal shot to throw out the runner, which may not be the best thing for the pitcher.
Absolutely. You want the ball away so that you have more room to throw, so that you're not crowded by the hitter.
2 on, nobody out here. 2nd walk for Thompson, and here's Chipper with ducks on the pond. He's driven in 1 run. He's got 97. A long ball here would get him to the coveted 100 RBI plateau. Charlie Huff on his way to the mound. Strickland in the bullpen. We shall see what happens here. And that's going to be all for Thompson, who pitched a good ball game tonight. He went 7+, but he's going to leave trailing. Thompson, 7+ innings, 6 hits, 3 runs to this point. The runners on base his responsibility. 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a home run. And Strickland gets the call, and we'll be back right after this. We are back already, and Strickland takes his warm-up tosses. Chipper singled in a run in the first, fly to center, to deep center in the third, and hit one to the mound in the fifth. He's up here in a spot now where he could break this game wide open.
Well, I was talking about the nightmares he's had about the Atlanta Braves. You can see his numbers this year against the Braves. That's 9 innings worth of work, 7 earned runs, 3 home runs, and they've all been game-winning homers. One by Henry Blanco, one by Gary Sheffield, and one by Keith Lockhart.
You sort of view this Chipper at bat with mixed emotions. You're rooting for J.Smoltz to get at least one more save and set the National League record, and he's in a position at this moment to do that tonight. But you'd also like to see Chipper get the 100 RBIs, and he's got a shot to do that right here. So take your pick, I guess. 2 on, nobody out. Thompson has to feel good about the way he pitched. He really did a good job.
They did
tonight. Vaughn plays behind the runner at first. Bragg gets a huge lead. Up and in, 1 ball, no strikes.
Strickland came over from Montreal early in the year. Throws hard, has a good slider. Well, they've thrown that pitch a lot tonight. Thompson, now Strickland. The left-handed hitters, they've tried to throw that slider down and in all night.
The 2-0 pitch. 3 balls, no strikes. I'll bet he's got the hit privilege here if he wants it. This would be, if they can hang on, the 99th win of the year for Atlanta. High fly ball, but I don't think he got enough. He hit it deep. But Perez makes the catch, and runners will be at first and third. Chipper had a bid for it, but didn't get quite enough. They did give him the green light, 3-0. And Andrew Jones, the batter, 1-3, a double and a run scored.
Wynn's really playing havoc with fly balls, though. You saw the way Timo Perez caught that ball. It looked like he was camped under it, and then all of a sudden made a basket catch. Strickland's only given up 7 home runs all year, but those 3 to Atlanta were all game winners, and the league's only hitting .236 against him overall.
He's a pretty good pitcher,
yeah,
despite his Atlanta problems. 1 ball, no strikes.
It'd be pretty tough, but Andrew has an outside shot at 100 RBIs. He's at 93 now.
Yeah, he needs another game like he had the other night.
Yeah. It takes some doing.
Pop foul back and out of play. One and 2, the count. Julio Franco on deck. Look out. 2-2.
I would have sworn that hit him.
Sounded like it, didn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes the ball goes into the catcher's glove and hits the edge, the outer edge of the mitt, and then into the pocket. There's a click-click sound, which makes it sound like it hit the batter. Too close for comfort.
The 2-2. And he got him with a hook. Brushed him back and then struck him out. 2 down, and Julio Franco, the batter. The runners are still at first and third.
Takes a lot to get Andrew riled up, but that pitch up and in got him riled up, and that's why I was mad that he didn't get some payback on the breaking ball.
Franco foul tipped it into the glove of Piazza. 0-1. Julio 0 for 3 is yet. We're in the 8th. The hits are even, but where it counts, Atlanta has a 3-1 lead. One and one the count. Fly ball out of play, 1 and 2. So Strickland ahead in the count. And one pitch away, perhaps, from getting out of a major miss. Braves had runners at first and second with nobody out, first and third with 1 out. And now first and third with 2 out. The 1-2 pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The outfield plays Franco as they should around toward right.
Threw Andrew a 2-2 breaking ball. See if he does the same thing to Julio as Remlinger gets ready to work the bottom of the 8th.
Out of play again. The air traffic at LaGuardia is extremely busy at the moment. That should end the inning. Alomar to first in plenty of time. And a good job by Strickland this time. He gets out of danger. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning with the Braves leading 3-1.
Hank, Tom Glavine is 12 and 13 in postseason decisions, and J.Smoltz is 12 and 4. So they are tied for most wins, and there's John getting ready in case he's needed here in the 8th, but more than likely in the 9th.
Darren Holmes won an inning, allowed a hit, recorded a strikeout, and Mike Remlinger is on to pitch as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Ty Wigginton is the pinch hitter for the Mets. This young guy's a pretty good-looking hitter, but he's a little late on that one. 0-1. Strickland won an inning, struck out 1. A ball and a strike to count. Kevin Grabowski in the bullpen for Atlanta now, but J.Smoltz in all likelihood will be up and throwing if Remlinger gets through this inning successfully. His 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. They've changed it now. It is J.Smoltz in the Atlanta bullpen, not Kevin Grabowski. It's tough to tell. They're hidden behind the John Rocker barriers out there. This isn't so good. 3-1 the count. Any base runner, of course, brings a tying run to the plate. Three and two now.
And it's not the part of the order you would want that to happen with the top of the order to follow. Wigginton's a pretty versatile player. He can play in the infield. He could probably play left field and do a good job for you there if you needed him to.
Pat Strange and Armando Benitez in the New York bullpen. Not a good start to the bottom of the 8th. Remlinger issues a pass. And Roger Cedeno, as Joe said, ends the top of the order to bat for New York. Cedeno in this game has walked, singled, stolen a base, and grounded out. G.Maddux started this game with 5 good innings for Atlanta. Hammond another shutout inning. Holmes another shutout inning, and now Remlinger. And he falls behind again, 1-0, and Blanco to the mound. For a word with Mike.
Mike's overthrowing a little bit, tried to throw that fastball about 100 miles an hour and missed high.
I think he feels more pressure now about his bullpen buddy J.Smoltz really than he does about the win or loss here.
Could be. He hasn't pitched in 5 days, too.
2-0 and the Noose Titans. Robbie Alomar is on deck. There's a strike, 2-1.
You know, Mike's like a couple of other guys in the bullpen, especially J.Smoltz, who had that one brutal outing. I think it was against the Mets earlier this year that caused his ERA to be higher than what you would expect for the season. Mike's ERA at 1.90, however.
2-2.
He had a game earlier this year where he gave up 4 earned runs without getting an out against Houston, and if you took that game away, his ERA is 1.36. Again, outstanding.
Wigginton leads away on the 2-2. Another full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And missing in the same spot to Cedeno. High and away.
So let's see if Wigginton is running down by 2. A 3-2 pitch, nobody out here in the 8th inning. Nope. And he got him. Cedeno is out of there, 1 away. And the fans, a few of them, begin to boo. Here's Alomar.
Like another high pitch, high fastball, but close enough that Cedeno can't take it and too hard for him to catch up to.
Alomar has grounded to second, grounded to short, grounded to third. He's given everybody a try but the first baseman. A ground ball is what Remlinger would like to see right here. It rained here in New York into the top of the first, then stopped, and so far has not resumed. There is some possibility of rain later in the evening. And we do have another game to go. 0-1. We're in the 8th. It's 3-1 Atlanta. V.Castilla has a homer. He's driven in 2 of the 3 Atlanta runs. Chipper Jones has driven in the other.
Braves bullpen's the best I've ever been around, Skip, and it reminds me of the bullpen the Yankees had together when they had set up guys like Mike Stanton and Ramiro Mendoza and Jeff Nelson for Mariano Rivera. They shortened the game for the starters and made it really tough inning by inning late in the game.
That's out of play, and the count goes to 1-2. Mike Piazza, who has struck out all 3 times, is due next, and those 3 strikeouts make him doubly dangerous. Two balls, 2 strikes. Joe told you how weak Alomar has been as a right-hand hitter this year. And his problems continue. 2 out. Back-to-back strikeouts. Here comes Piazza. And here comes Bobby Cox, and I think Smoltz will come into the game right now. He will. And the Braves are going to double switch as well. But with the most dangerous hitter in the Mets lineup coming to the plate. Matt Franco is going to come in and play first, and John Smoltz is going to come in to pitch, and we'll be back after this. Will come on and do the pitching, and he will hit in Julio Franco's spot, which is 5th in the order. Randy Myers, Trevor Hoffman, and John Smoltz, all with 53 saves. If John can get one here, he will be all alone atop the heap in the National League. Bobby Thigpen with 57 is the American League leader and the all-time leader Major League-wise. But right now, Smoltz has to get a tough out. Mike Piazza.
One of the reasons for this change, too, not just to try to finish this up, but Piazza, 278 career average with a couple of homers against Remlinger. And against Smoltz, a 217 career average with a couple of homers.
That scares you, those 3 strikeouts. This guy's a good hitter. Runner at first, 2 out. Remlinger, 2/3 of an inning, no hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. No runs, but the runner on first is his responsibility. Here we go. Low and away, 1 ball, no strikes.
Piazza hitting .292 with runners in scoring position. He's been a clutch hitter this year. That's not a scoring position situation here, but the game is on the line. That's usually when he's at his best.
1-1 the count. Smoltz worked 2 nights ago in Philadelphia in a non-safe situation. Of course, no one worked yesterday. The 1-1. Threw it right by him, 1-2. There's nothing wrong with his velocity.
Braves have pitched Piazza tough tonight. Maddox, Hammond, and now Smoltz.
The 1-2. That's it. That does it in the 8th. Smoltz comes in. Piazza has struck out 4 straight times. That hasn't happened very often in his career, I wouldn't think. No hits, no runs, no errors. 1 left at the end of 8. Braves 3. Mets 1.
Something funny.
Atlanta 9th. Looking ahead to the bottom half of the inning, it will be Vaughn, Alfonso, and Gonzalez due against John Smoltz. One and one the count.
This guy is huge. 6'5", pushing 250.
Swing and a miss. A ball and 2 strikes. Don't forget, another game follows this one. Pedro Estacio for the Mets. Kevin Millwood for the Braves. Line drive, good start. Lockhart drills a single to center. V.Castilla has homered, driving in a run. Single driving in a run and grounded to short.
Been a tough night for Keith Lockhart, and a good changeup that put him in the hole again, 1 and 2, but rallied to get that base hit. Salvage a 1 for 4.
This Strange out of Springfield, Massachusetts. His older brother Don pitched in the Braves organization as well as Baltimore and Kansas City. A second-round draft choice back in '98. Oh, and 2 the count.
Showed a good changeup to Lockhart. We might see that to Vinny at some point here, now that he's ahead in the count.
Stayed alive. Pushed it foul down the right side. Don't forget J.Smoltz gunning for his 54th save, which would give him the National League record. Into short left field. It's going to be caught. Cedeno makes the catch, 1 away.
I like the way Smoltz went right after Piazza last inning. It was almost like he caught Mike guessing, but I think also the fact that John and Blanco recognized that Mike couldn't catch up to his fastball in the swing before, so they stayed with it.
1 on, 1 out. Henry Blanco has twice flied to center, once caught to first. Europe leads the U.S. 4.5, 3.5 after the first day at the golf tournament. Looked bad for the U.S. early, didn't it?
Yes, it did. They lost the first 3 matches.
That's strange.
Yes, it is.
Lined into left field. That's going to get down for a hit. The 2 are on with 1 out.
But from a Ryder Cup standpoint, that would be Curtis Strange.
Yeah, I would. Franco hitting in the 9th spot. That's why the Braves double split. And now, again, you wonder, do you root for the Braves to get more runs, or do you root for J.Smoltz?
It's still a save situation no matter how many they score
right.
now. They can score 10.
Okay, so let's get 10. Good idea. Because he came into the game with only a 2-run difference.
Matt's average has taken a hit. Just 3 hits in his last 29 at-bats.
But when you go through a 3 for 29 and you're still hitting 314 as a part-time player, you've had a pretty good year. 0-1 the count. A left-hander in the New York bullpen again. The Braves bullpen is silent. It's J.Smoltz against the world in this game. 1-1 the count. Franco played for the Mets for some time. Was a pinch hitter deluxe here in New York. Double play ball. 6, 4, 3, inning over. He hit it hard, but right at him. So nothing doing in the 9th for Atlanta. 2 hits, no runs. No errors, 1 left. Let's find out together whether or not J.Smoltz can make history right after this.
Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, James Garner. The TBS Superstation premiere.
Everybody's got a gun. Here you go, right there.
Maverick. Coming October 6th only on TBS Superstation.
Hi, I'm Keith Hernandez. And I'm Walt Clyde Frazier. What a marvelous night for the action. Let's go to the play-by-play. Oh, there's Mr. Graybeard approaching Miss Hottie. Oh, no. Rejected. Clyde, that's gotta hurt. Yeah, no play for Mr. Gray. Get that man out.
Bottom half of the 9th inning, J.Smoltz shooting for his 54th save. And if John gets this save, we are going to endeavor to visit with him before he heads to the clubhouse. So please stay with us. Mo Vaughn leads it off. Vaughn so far is 2 for 3, a couple of singles. The big guy stands in there. The wind and the pitch. Swung and missed. It's 0-1. Don't you think they would put on the scoreboard, Joe, that the fans here are about possibly to see something really special? They don't have any idea of it's Smoltz.
No, and I wouldn't expect them to sing too many praises of the Braves in this ballpark.
But if I had paid whatever you pay to get in here, I'd want to know that. 0-2 the count.
Lou Piazza away with a fastball. Let's see what he does with Vaughn.
Little low, a ball and 2 strikes.
That looks like a splitter.
One thing about it, if you've watched Smoltz in the past in playoff and World Series competition, you know this is not going to scare him to death.
No.
But you know he'd love to get it. And there's a start. Vaughn is out of there, 1 away. John has faced 2 men. He has struck them both out.
Got Vaughn with a slider. It was up a little bit, but it worked. Mo trying to pull that outside pitch.
Alfonso the batter. Whoops. Edgardo is 1 for 3. He's lined to center, hit into a double play, and single. High and tight, 1 ball, no strikes. 3-1 Atlanta, our score, 1 out in the 9th.
Season started, Skip, and John was going to be put in the closer's role. A lot of people wondered if just doing that would be enough for John, and I don't think it was at the early part of the year, and I think he'd be the first to admit that it wasn't enough. He wasn't pitching enough. Braves weren't playing well. He wasn't getting many opportunities, but I think that's all changed. The better the team played, the more opportunities came his way, the more close games he was involved in, and I think it became enough for him because he does love to pitch.
He's behind here, 3-0. A walk brings a tying run to the plate. Right in there, 3-1. That's going to reach the seats. 3-2. So a pitch shot decision for Edgardo Alfonso.
Got a 3-1 ball game. The worst Alfonso could make it is 3-2, even if he hit one out of here. No reason to take a chance by throwing him or trying to trick him by throwing him something off speed that might not be a strike. Go right after him. And they are.
He lost him downstairs. So we're not done yet. Tying run comes to the plate. And here's Raul Gonzalez scheduled, and he will hit for himself. He's in there because Burnitz was thrown out of the game back in the 4th, arguing balls and strikes.
He's talking about how many teams he's been with and going through minor league free agency so many times. It was last year that he finally really came to the top. He led the league playing for Louisville, led the league in hits, doubles, runs scored, hit .299.
Little low, 1 ball, no strikes. Not out of the woods here yet. Gonzalez out of the batter's box. He's dressed as if he's going to a blizzard. Look at the wraps on his hands and wrists. High fly fly ball on the right side. Bragg on the run, but he has no play. And you can bet everybody on that field for Atlanta knows the situation. There's a lot more pressure now in this game than there was earlier because they all want and will feel a part of John Smoltz's accomplishment if he gets it.
Flags are starch blowing in right now, but all the infielders probably hoping the ball's hit to them so they have a chance to turn a double play.
The 1-1 pitch. Here it is. Swung and missed. He foul tipped it, in fact, into the glove of Henry Blanco. So it's 1-2. Timo Perez is next.
Good pitch choice. He was late on the fastball before, so he tried to start his swing a little early. His head came off that pitch, and all he could do was foul tip it. Looked like a breaking ball, like a slider.
The 1-2. Got him. 2 out. Smoltz has walked one of the 4 batters he's faced. He's struck out the other 3. Here's Timo Perez. He stands between John Smoltz and a big, big record.
There are the all-time leaders in a single season for saves. Bobby Thigpen at the top of the heap. John Smoltz could stand alone in second place if he gets one more out here.
And the top of the heap in the National League. 1 ball, no strikes.
And I think most certainly a strong candidate for Cy Young Award.
Runner goes. Line foul. 1-1. The writers vote for those awards, if I'm not mistaken. And there are some who I have talked to who, no matter how great a relief pitcher is, they feel that the Cy Young should go to a starting pitcher and that the Rolaids award or something should go to the best relief pitcher in baseball. Runner goes again. Base hit right field. So now the Braves could lose the game. The winning run comes to the plate with 2 on and 2 out. John Valentin is going to come out here and hit for Ordonez.
Like Timo Perez picked that one up right off the top of the dirt.
Valentin against Smoltz 0 for 2 in his brief National League career. He spent many productive years with the Red Sox.
And a good pinch hitter for them this year, though. 14 for 48 with a homer, and he's driven in 13 runs. Pretty good fastball hitter.
They're on the corners with 2 out. High fly ball. That should do it. Bragg on the run. He's there. And John Smoltz has done it. 54 saves, a new National League record as the Braves win Game 1 of the doubleheader. Valentin flies to right. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 2 left, and John Smoltz has made some baseball history here tonight as he picks up his 54th save, and he's now on top of the heap in the National League and 3 behind Bobby Thigpen, and that's got to be a tremendous thrill for a guy who a year and a half ago didn't know whether or not he was through.
I know, and when he's been asked lately about missing being a starter in the postseason coming up, he said it might be a little difficult, but because of the closeness that I was talking about earlier, how tight some of the ball games have been that he's been in, he's relished being in the hot spot in the 9th inning. And I think, again, that will be enough for him in the postseason this time around, and he has been outstanding and a well-earned National League record in his first year as the closer.
We're going to visit with John, excuse me, Joe. We're going to visit with John here in just a moment as soon as he gets the headphones on before we throw it to break. There you see the line score of the game.
4 blown saves all year.
And I think that first one was against New York, and at that time all of us wondered, is this going to work or not? Well, we've certainly gotten the answer to that. J.Smoltz is with us down on the field. John, Joe, and Skip upstairs. Congratulations, buddy. I know this has to mean an awful lot.
You know what, it does. It's funny how things work out. You know, I heard you guys talking about the second game of the year, and I haven't forgotten that. And, you know, to get the record is something special. To get it against the Mets, who, after the second game of the year, I had a very humbling experience. And, you know, I'm really proud of what's been able to happen on this team, but only I benefit from the team's success and the opportunities that are presented me. So I'm going to take this with a lot of pride.
John, I was talking earlier tonight about how at the beginning of the season, you said, you know, I don't know when to warm up. I don't know how much to warm up. You weren't getting many opportunities because, quite frankly, the team wasn't playing very well. And I didn't know if this was going to be enough for you because of your love of pitching. But it changed, didn't it?
It did. You know, the role they said was going to be a little more exciting the longer the year goes on, and the guys in the bullpen were great and helped me out. I was frustrated. I'll admit it. I handled some things wrong and kind of fought the role in the beginning, and this taught me a lot of patience. As you guys well know, I'm not as patient as most, and even down the stretch here with everything settled and everyone talking about the record, you know, the opportunities were a little bit limited, so I had to learn patience in this situation. So I'm going to try to carry this same feeling into the playoffs. I was a little bit nervous and anticipating there in the ninth, and that's good because that's what's going to be like in the playoffs.
John, I don't know if you even remember this, but after that terrible game against the Mets real early in the year, you and I ran into each other and nobody else around the next day, and before I could say anything, you broke into a smile and said, well, there's only one way to go after that. And I'll never forget that, but that's the way I guess you have to look at things in the bullpen, because every day is not going to be filet mignon.
Yeah, you know what, Matt Franco, when he got called up and obviously stayed the rest of the year, he told me, he says, you're too good and the numbers are going to work out. And he said, things are going to work out, and everybody was kind of in my corner saying, you know what, you got too good of stuff. And unfortunately, I've heard that before, but, you know, I learned a lot in this role, and it's changed me as a person, and I think hopefully if the outcome is I get to pitch in 11 wins in the postseason, that would be outstanding.
Well, one more thing. I'm curious. I mean, you guys keep knocking off some of these individual things with Bobby getting his 1800th win and various things falling for other guys in the lineup. What does this mean to you? I mean, it's your first year as a closer, but you've set a National League record, and you guys are going to the postseason. I mean, we can talk about team stuff all we want a little bit later. So what does this individual record mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. You know, when I think of accomplishments, I think of what I had to go through to get to it, and it wasn't an easy road. I mean, the off season was just chaotic with the thumb injury and all the things that I went through individually, and I think the good Lord took me through this process for a reason. And I think for me, I have a lot of pride. You know, I'm not an ego guy that has to have certain things happen, but I love pitching. And I love helping the team win. And I think going all the way back into spring training and trying to fake my way into thinking I was ready, it's amazing how it's worked out at this point with the amount of saves that I've had.
John, I know Pete and Don and all the guys on our crew and the gals as well want to join us in saying congratulations. The only thing we're sad about is we don't get to watch you pop the short as often as we once did, but congratulations, my friend. It's well-deserved.
Nice going.
Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, John. That's J.Smoltz, and we'll be back with the totals highlights right after this.
We're excited you're coming home from school. And now don't be surprised if things